Hi Pisces, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. This is going to be a general reading for mid-month December 2024. And in today's reading, I'm going to be using the Tarot Grand Luxe. I'm also going to be using to clarify the Erenberg Tarot. So, before I begin, I'm going to say that I'm going to be changing the format of my readings. So normally I give you a monthly reading and a mid-month reading, and I will be going into putting out single readings. And there's not going to be dates on any of my readings. When they come out, they're for you. And so I'm just going to cycle through the 12 zodiac signs. You might get 2 signs in one day, or so whatever I'm being called to do. And then, so yeah, you'll at least get 2 readings from me, maybe 3, maybe 4. Depends on, how it goes. So I'm going to try it that way. I found that when I left it to doing 12 signs for the month or the mid-month, it took a lot out of me, and I'd rather be doing it sort of steady on a daily basis for you. So let's begin with, we're going to be looking for a pattern that's showing up in your life right now for healing. And patterns are very important. When we start to take a look at what sort of emotions are coming up for us, what sort of people are coming into our life, and how they're behaving towards us, and what patterns are we noticing around these behaviors, and that can tell us a lot about what we need to heal in our self and how they're affecting us, especially if they're triggering us. And so what pattern is showing up for Pisces this mid-month here? So we get the 8 of Wands in reverse. And next we're going to be looking at, this is our shadow. And the shadow is what is going to have the most impact on this pattern that's showing up. Our shadow is all those things about ourselves that we've repressed when we were younger. Because people told us things about ourselves, and if we weren't allowed to be our true self, and we were told not to feel the certain way, not to feel certain emotions, we were told this is, what we're good at, what we're not good at, what we're allowed to do. And we just put away all these, our real self, our true authentic self. We put it away, we repressed it. We weren't allowed to be the person we were meant to be. And we end up putting on these masks. And so there's a lot of trauma, a lot of big emotions, memories, and even gifts we can find in our shadow for us, our purpose. But we have to peel away at these layers of our trauma, and everybody has trauma on a continuum. And so if you are unfamiliar with the word shadow or shadow work, I've left a good video for you in my description box below called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work, and it's all about facing your own shadow. And it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And so your pattern that's showing up here on the first row is your outer world. It's what you're conscious of. And then your shadow is your inner world. It's your unconscious. You don't know what's in your shadow, but it's having the most impact on your outer world. In fact, your inner world it reflects out what needs healing, and so that's what you see, and that's why it's so important we pay attention to our patterns. So let's look at what aspect from your shadow is showing up for healing now that's impacting this 8 of Wands. Another one, Ace of Wands. And then let's look at some guidance from the tarot so that you can begin to heal this pattern. And I'll also leave you with some suggestions as well from my other channel, Carol Cares, that'll help you with the situation you're in right now. So advice from the tarot. We have the 6 of Wands in reverse. You have 3 wand cards out here on the table. So wands, it's important that you know, is your purpose, your creative purpose, what you came here to do. You know, we're always being led into that direction of what our true purpose is here on this planet called Earth. We all have a purpose. And it looks like here there's a real emphasis in this reading about your purpose on this earth. So, can I have some clarifiers for the Eight of Wands? You have the Four of Wands, Four of Swords. I knew I was saying that wrong. And then the King of Swords. And how about this Ace of Wands in our shadow? Can I have some clarifiers on that? You have the Four of Wands in reverse, another wand, and a Page of Wands. There you go. That makes all the sense in the world that you got that Page of Wands in there. Definitely makes all the sense in the world. Six of Wands in reverse. There's one card here. And there's your other one. Okay, so Five of Cups in reverse. And the Seven of Swords in reverse. Okay, let's start off with your purpose, Pisces, the Eight of Wands here. So, what pattern's showing up in your life? Normally in an upright position, the Eight of Wands, like I said, wands are very much a suit that wants movement. They're always moving because, like I said, we're moving towards our direction. And the Eight of Wands, as you can see, that these wands are like exploding. Like they're almost like they know where they're going. They're very focused wands right here. But this is in reverse for you. So I'm seeing here that you're kind of losing focus. Your focus is blocked. You're not sure. You're struggling with your purpose. You're needing some direction here. I'm hearing confusion maybe. And then you have to clarify that, you have the Four of Wands here. And the Four of Wands is, this confusion, not knowing your purpose can really keep us up in our head and we can really spin on that, right? And so this Four of Swords, I keep saying wands, but the Four of Swords comes in when we really need rest. It's like your mind needs some rest from the spinning, and you know it. Maybe you're just feeling exhausted here, and maybe you're needing some rest here with this whole, feeling like you're looking for focus. You're looking at some kind of creative endeavor. And then you get this King of Swords that comes out right at the end. And I love this one who's got the sword right in the middle of his two eyes. The King in my deck represents, it wants you to bring awareness to this side of you. And this is the masculine side of you. We all have a feminine side and then we have a masculine side. It doesn't matter what gender you are. The masculine side of us is our ego self. It is the one that wants nothing more than for you to stay up in your head and not go in your body. Right now, you are very much up in your head, trying to figure out, very confused, not knowing what direction to go into, and you're very much spinning in your head. And that's why, this Four of Swords came up here to kind of like saying, you need you're needing some time out here. This particular ego self would not want you to take time out. It wants nothing to do with this creative, whatever this direction is that you want to take yourself in. It wants nothing to do with you trying to move towards your authenticity and who you are and what you're meant to do. In fact, this sword right here is normally, like I say, the sword that cuts through the bullshit. Maybe what people told you, but this one says, no, there's no such thing as authenticity. It wants you to continue to put these masks on and to pretend that you're, someone else. Like, I would not want you to take your life into this new direction that's coming up for you right here. And that's why it's, it's the first card in your reading. Creative expression to me is a creative direction is taking your life somewhere that you haven't been before. Like, this is something very new for you, and maybe you know what it is. But it's different. It's a new direction for you. And this ego self is petrified of creativity, which is a feminine quality, petrified of, you becoming authentic and trying to find your real self. And it'll come in and it'll block this. It'll keep you confused and spinning in your head. And that's what's going on. And you've been here before. You've seen this pattern before. And it's back again. So in your shadow, the first card is the Ace of Wands, and these are the things you've repressed when you were younger. And so the Ace of Wands is a gift. It's an offer from the universe. It's your true purpose. It's the wand, your direction, and it's buried in your shadow. So when you were younger, you knew. We all know what direction we were supposed to go into, and it's sitting right here. You knew when you were younger. Now, I'm going to say that it was very much blocked by somebody when you were younger. You may not remember, and we don't remember a lot that's in our shadow. The next card is the Four of Wands. And this is in reverse, but the Four of Wands is very much you see this celebration, the confetti falling and somebody's hand getting shaken, and it's often called a celebration card. And this is a card where you have the Two of Wands, which is like getting this nudge to go in a certain direction. 3 is making a plan for it, and 4 is the freedom. It's the freedom because you actually step out and do what you want to do. This is in reverse for you. You had a direction that you knew what you were supposed to go into, and then your freedom to do it was taken away. You weren't allowed to do it. You weren't allowed. Maybe you remember. Maybe you know. But it's something like, this is a real simple example, but it could be, I want a guitar. No, too much money. We're not buying that. When maybe that was your true purpose. You know what I mean? It's something like that. Or it could be anything, but that's just a little example of it. Where it's just like, no, somebody took that away from you. And and then here's the card that I said, no wonder it came out. Here's the Page of Wands. So like I said, this is all about wands. Pages in my deck, there are 4 of them. And they are my inner children. And we all have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology says we just have one, but I've been on my own intensive healing journey for a while now to know that I have more than one inner child. And this particular inner child, around 4, 5, 6 years old, knew who they were. I love the salamander up here. Is it a salamander? It looks like a salamander, striped salamander, if there's such a thing. It's like I see this little kid, maybe having, I know it means something, but to me it's like this little kid, maybe he used to play with, loved being out in nature and loved to play with all these weird animals and whatever. And this was all taken away somehow from them. That's not what you're supposed to do, And so this particular page who holds your purpose, your true direction, was your inner child is in your shadow, and it knows who you are supposed to be. It knew who you were supposed to be. And because it's coming up here in your reading, in your shadow, it needs healing. And that means it holds a lot of emotions. It holds a lot of emotions. And we're going to see one here with maybe the Five of Cups. It holds a lot of your emotions of, imagine being told you can't do something. You're not good at it. We don't have enough money for it. You can't do it. What sort of things would you feel as a young child? You would feel very, there's a whole bit of maybe hopelessness in there, anger, grief. And this is what this little inner child needs to heal those big emotions that came with being told, no, you're not allowed to do that. And so this child needs to be understood, needs to be heard, and needs to be given a voice. And as an adult, we now feel those big feelings that they couldn't feel when they were younger. And I journal to my inner children. I write to them and they write back and they tell me how they feel. And that's giving them a voice. And so how can you start to heal this inner child? How can you start to heal this part of you that was, your true purpose that was taken from you? And how do you heal these big emotions right here? We have the Six of Wands card. And I don't know, sometimes I just shake my head when these cards come up and I just go, like, I don't make this up. But the Six of Wands for me, first of all my sixes have a duality to them. And in an upright position, the Six of Wands refers to the duality here. It looks like on one hand, it's a real victory card with the victory wreath behind him. And you can tell he's standing up on a hill. He's won some sort of a victory here. But the other side to this that we don't see is what's lost. And so this particular card is a card for me that represents grief, loss. And this would be what this little page of yours, your inner child, felt when they were younger. Real loss, because they didn't get to do what they were meant to do, what they knew they came here for. And this is blocked right now. It's in reverse. And so the universe wants you to start to work on the grief, feel the grief. And we're going to do that by getting in our bodies. I'll leave you with a playlist on grounding for sure. And then you have the Five of Cups that comes out next. And the Five of Cups talks about our emotions, first of all. And it talks about someone that is very fixated on these three cups that has spilled. And I'm wondering here if, I wouldn't doubt it, if you're listening to this and this is resonating with you, that you feel you go in and out of depression a lot. And loneliness. Because this card talks about this person that is stuck, to a point where it's very much become a problem because it's in reverse here. And so you have grieving to do, and then you have this card that represents, for me, really stuck on hopelessness and maybe depression. Oftentimes, because we have grief with depression here, I'm going to say that it is, we will block grief, especially our ego self will block this grief right here. It's petrified, absolutely petrified of emotions, and in particular grief. It doesn't want you to go near your grief. It thinks that it's going to swallow you up. And that's why we spend so much of our time defending these big emotions and not wanting to feel them, right? And that's why we need this rest right here. And instead what happens is, when we don't want to feel this, we will defend it. We will block it by our depression, by our hopelessness. And if we can really lean into this depression, and you'll see that, I'll give you a playlist on depression as well, where you can learn how to journal from depression. Like, what's the point? Why bother? Nothing is going to change. And this is where your grief is going to come in, because this is what you're feeling. You're feeling like there is no point in even trying because nothing is going to change. But there is, you know, this can change, but the depression is actually, if you're stuck on it, if you go in and out of it, it's actually a block for this grief that wants to come in. Grief is always like that final emotion that just washes away everything. And then the next card that comes up is the Seven of Swords. And I like this depiction of the Seven of Swords. And if I turn it around this way, the Seven of Swords talks about, and here we are back at the swords, right, in your true self. We didn't talk too much about the swords. We had the King of Swords there, but the swords are our mental energy. Oh, yeah, we talked about it with the Four of Swords. They're the things that we tell ourselves. They're the things that we spin on. It's what we've, people told us when we were younger, and that's how we formed an impression of who we are and who we present to the world, right? We're really ashamed of ourselves, and so we put on these masks in society because what we were told when we were younger, it's not us really, but we've put them in we've shoved it down in our unconscious, and it continues to come up for healing, and we believe that's who we are. But like I said, this ego self doesn't want you to get back to who you are. It doesn't block you. And so this last card that's in reverse, it's like, it's time now to take a peek out of this mask. It's time now to start peeling off your masks. I know there's a resistance to doing it, but you know, that's not who you really are. These things that people told you about, you're hiding behind this mask because you don't want the real self to come out. But the real self is sitting here in your shadow. This is where you're meant to go, in your shadow right here. This little page of yours needs healing. And so you're going to do that by learning how to journal from your depression, learning about depression, and learning how to ground to get back in your body where you are going to feel that grief, right? Your grief, your emotions aren't in your head, they're in your body, and they need to be felt so you can heal these little children of yours. So Pisces, I really loved your reading. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is the most incredible, difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one that's going to take you back to your authentic self. And so thanks for watching my video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.